Hey, good morning, fuckers. It's another day here at the Daily BM. I have Mikey with me. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm so glad you all are listening in this morning to this amazing podcast brought to you by the two of us.
The biggest bowel movement mouths you'll ever hear on the internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with that, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just
it's
kidding.
great talking to you all day, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Catch you next
Have
time.
a good one.
Peace. Deuces. But,
Just kidding.
nah, just
Let's
kidding.
let's get the show on the
You're
road.
stuck for 20 fucking minutes, guys. So just buckle up, buttercups, and we're going to talk about injuries because I have a big one I want to talk about. So
Brad's whining about his little knee,
So I was
little
masturbating
knee
today.
injury.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about my masturbation, how I broke my boner. Wait, what?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that one.
Let's go. It's a small task, but anyway,
It was a small fracture.
it was totally a small fucking injury, very small. But no, all joking around aside. So I went on a morning run at like 5 a.m. Right,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I brought this up on a prior show, but I'll touch on it very lightly, then we can talk about it. But so I was running, man, and because we're training for that 5K coming up. And shit, and I went to miss this hole. It was kind of dark. I knew better than to drive down this fucking road, right? So, or not drive, but run down this damn road. It's still early, guys. Sorry, bear with me. And I went to plant because I didn't see this hole, kind of this dip in the pavement. Mm-hmm. So I kind of did a little half-ass jump, but I was running pretty much for me full speed, probably a jog for you. But I was running full speed, and I planted and I misplanted wrong, and I knew I didn't feel it, but it started getting sore like about another 100 yards later. And then so last night I did some research on it because for a day now I've been down and can't really move. But you'd be proud of me, man. I got a fucking workout in last night.
You did. Good job, man.
I did arms and everything, man, and I did some core, got that done, and I was like, you know what, man, fuck this injury. So that was kind of my mindset, going into it. I was like, I'm not gonna. So I have to work upper body now for the next 2 weeks, but according to what I read. But anyway, I read that based on my symptoms and where the areas were, it was my MCL, and I forget what the name of the tendon is behind the knee that runs from the hamstring to the top of the calf. I pulled that one because it had to compensate when my MCL started to take some damage. So that was pretty much doing it over. So this motherfucker, I'll tell you what, man, I will never ever make fun of you again with a knee injury because I just got karma like a motherfucker, dude. That's how I felt about it. I really did. I felt like, man, I sat there and busted Mikey's balls for a year. Oh, you got weak ass tendons, man. And then here I am doing an injury. But I found out what it was that caused it. Not necessarily the action. It was not stretching and warming up properly. That's the number one cause of most tendon and any type of muscular injury when you run is improper warm up and stretching.
Right.
And you don't have to do a full on stretch session, you know what I mean? But the older you get, the more you got to work on flexibility because you get old, and I'm over 50. So, I literally didn't warm up. My warm up was 7.5 minutes to the front of the neighborhood. And then I started running. That's not long enough. You know what I mean? You got to stretch them out. You got to stretch the tendons, get them pliable, so to speak, and get it working. But, I'll never make fun of you again for it, dude. Ever. You have my word. I will never make fun of you. It is, besides your neck pain, this is probably the most intense freaking pain when you try to walk. You don't realize, because, you have your legs, obviously, but you don't think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just my fucking leg until something happens. And then you realize how much it fucks with your life. Like, I literally, just to take a shit, seriously, just to take a fucking dump is the most painful thing in the world. Like, because then it's like, thank God I have the ledge next to me that I can pull up, but getting down onto that freaking porcelain throne, no pun intended, is a huge pain in the ass. I was like, God, is this how freaking 80-year-olds feel when they go to take a dump and they're trying to sit down? I was like, it's the most excruciating pain in the world, man. I was just like, God, dog. Try to walk to the kitchen just to grab, something to snack on. It's a chore, and I got tile, so you can't wear socks because, you got to be able to be stable. So you got to walk around barefoot on a cold ass tile. This is a bitch session, by the way, by Brad. So I hope you enjoyed the first 5 minutes of me complaining about my leg pain. But did you do any remedies for like your knee pain that actually sped up that might help the listeners and myself? Actually, I'm going to be a little self-absorbed here, but did you do anything special to like help with recovery?
Well, I went to doctors. I got cortisone shots. Those helped minimally. I used ice and heat, ibuprofen to the point where my stomach was starting to have issues. All sorts of different creams and magic cures that you get on the internet. None of it seemed to make a difference.
Really?
The thing that helped the most was being consistent with my joint supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure I take those.
Can you name which ones they were that you used? Off the top of your head?
No, I know it's MSM, and then what was the other? There's it's a 3-part deal. Shit, I can't think of the top of the name of it. I'll have to figure out what it is. It's at my Amazon cart, and I'm horrible at pronouncing these too, so that's going to be a fun little section. So give me a quick second, and I will look up what I order.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell it because I didn't know you were going to ask me specifically what I take.
Well, yeah, dickhead. I want to know exactly what you're taking, man. I mean, I just want to kind of guess it because, I was like, man, the pain, right now I've been just like eating, like literally eating freaking ibuprofen. And it's
so,
like,
all right, I found it. It has, it's glucosamine.
Okay.
It's something CHONDROITIN. What is it? Chondroitin. Fuck if I know how to say it. Turmeric, MSM, Boswellia. It's a joint relief supplement that I was taking that was helping quite a bit. I also take omega-3s and omega-6s, a fish oil supplement, basically. And then physical therapy to rebuild it, doing like band exercises and stuff like that. But yeah, it sucked. Sucked for 2 years. They told me I needed a full knee replacement, but I said, no, thank you.
You said, no, thank you. You can kiss my ass.
Yeah, because they're only good for about 15 to 20 years, and I didn't want to have to do it again at the age of 60. Because they'd have to do a renewal revision. So I was like, I'm going to try to get past this. I mean, the biggest thing is getting my weight off my body.
Right.
To reduce the impact. And just the supplements and stuff like that. I still, every once in a blue moon, have pain at night from the arthritis.
Right.
CDB cream helped a lot. If you can get it, THC CDB cream, which we can get in Florida with a medical marijuana card. That seemed to be doing the thing that helped the best as far as the pain and agony. But most of the time it just sucked. And then what I did is I started leaning heavily on my left foot and left leg to counterbalance the weight. And it started causing problems on the left side because I was walking in with an imbalance. And then it caused problems in my hips too. So I had to get all that stuff straightened out. I've been working on it. My mobility was severely hampered and it just all around sucked. So I'm kind of happy that you're kind of getting to experience it. I'm also kind of sad that you're not because now you can kind of relate a little bit how much it sucked and why I was bitching so much that night at Halloween Horror Nights when you're like, we were just trying to go fast so that way we could get through it so you could get off your foot. And you know how much more painful it is to move quick as opposed to moving slow.
I'll be honest with you, man. The reality is I didn't realize
how bad it was.
How bad it, like the pain you were experiencing. And I kind of took it for granted because I was healthy, and I'm like, well, man, stop being such a pussy. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. I'll be honest with you, that's what went through my head. But
what I was diagnosed with was ACL, MCL pulls and a tear in the meniscus.
Okay.
So that's what they said I had. And then arthritis in the joint was the 4 things that they mentioned. The MCL, ACL pulls, they weren't tears. I guess they were just pulled. So they said that would just heal over time. The meniscus tear, if that doesn't take care of itself, they said they could go in and do surgery to cut that excess out. And then we'll go from shit, what was that? What did they tell me? I'm trying to think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they'll go from the meniscus tear. They'll go in there and they'll clean it out. They can clean it out, burr it out. If I didn't show signs of recovery, they would have to do that. I luckily didn't have a lot of fluid on my foot, so they never had to drain the fluid.
Right.
I did get the cortisone shot, which did not do anything for me. I got 2 rounds of those of the cortisone injections. They didn't do anything for me.
They didn't do shit.
It felt good for like a day or two. Like it was like 2 days after it felt good, but it lasted for about a week and then it went away.
Yeah, so that's not good.
So it wasn't like a long-term relief. Like when they did it for my shoulder, I had no relief at all when they put the cortisone on my shoulder. And I had no relief when they did the injection in my spine. The what was it, ESI injection? That didn't do anything either. Like I said, the best thing I had was the cannabis CDB THC cream that seemed to give me the best relief at the time.
Okay.
But overall, it was painful.
Yeah,
and it's something I'm worried about all the time is becoming a re-injury, just because it's such a high level of pain that I never want to experience it again. So it gives me some problems.
You know, it kind of reminds me when I was playing adult league soccer. I basically I have never pulled a calf muscle. But let me tell you something, dude. You want to talk? This is probably okay. 5 being the high. You know what I mean? As far as pain threshold, this is probably a solid 3. But the calf injury that I took, I was out for 8 weeks. Like I couldn't even put my heel to the ground, dude. That's how bad it freaking pulled. I had to go to physical therapy, get the infrared deep tissue kind of stuff and to rebuild it. It was knotted like a ball inside my calf muscle. That's how bad the injury was. Yeah, it was really bad. They knew I tore my calf, the muscle itself.
Ouch.
And I couldn't put my heel to the ground. Like I couldn't even put my heel to the ground, dude. I was in tears. That's how excruciating the pain was.
I've been there, done that.
And so here's a funny story so I've literally, so being the dumbass that I am, because I'm a dumbass. 7 weeks goes by, right? And the minimum is 8 weeks for recovery. So I felt great. I'm jogging. I'm like, man, I feel fucking awesome, right? I'm unstoppable. That was going through my head, you know? So I get dressed up in my cleats. I go out to the field, right? Because I know there's only 3 weeks left of the soccer season. I'm like, man, I'm at least going to, I paid, $180 to play whatever, for the season for 12 or 15, 16 games. So there's like 3 games left in the season. So I was like, I'm getting in 3. I grab the soccer ball and I warm up with everybody. No big deal, right? Everything feels great. So they're like, all right, we're about to start the game. So I had the game ball. So I jog over to it to grab it. I grab the ball. I plant my right foot and it fucking pops my calf muscle. I fucking injure it just jogging over to get the ball. Like just a freak. But it would have happened during the game. You know what I mean? I dropped to the ground. Everybody goes, seriously? Like that. And I was like, yep. So I literally I went home and I was out another 8 to 12 weeks because I rushed it. So with this one, I'm not rushing it. I'm going to take my time. So guys, what I'm trying to say, and then we'll move on to something else. But if you have any type of injury whatsoever and they tell you the minimum, do the maximum. I don't give a shit. Unless you're under, physician care and they say you're good and they clear you. I cleared myself and I re-injured myself for another 8 to 12 weeks. And it sucks when you do shit.
Yeah, I mean, my problem. I was on the road to recovery and doing really well. And then we decided to do an office challenge. And I re-injured myself because I was trying to push too hard, too fast. Even though I was a year outside of recovery, I still try to push myself, and I was running in an unfamiliar area because it's someplace that we walked quite a bit, but we never really ran it. And when I turned, I just twisted and fell, and I actually went down. I wasn't able to catch myself like you were.
Right.
And the pain was excruciating. And then, my pride and ego kicked in, and I walked up the hill, hobbled up the hill, which made it worse.
Fucking worse, man.
And that was excruciating because that took me another 7 months to recuperate from that second fall. So that was, now I've learned that I need to take it slow, and that's why I've hired a running coach to help me practice my form and get my running consistent and building all the stabilizing muscles. That's really been the biggest benefit because it's allowing me to build those muscles, all those muscles that support the movements, which makes it a lot better, a lot safer, because you're not relying just on the big muscles, or you got all the stabilizing muscles to hold the joints in place better and help the tendons. So you're not relying just on your big muscles.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good info, man. I'm, like I said, it's just one of these things that, I'm going to go give it another day, and then I'm going to, if it's not at least down to a level 1 or the pain of subsiding, then I'm going to go and get it looked at, because it just, I don't want to take any chances with my knee,
Yeah, 100%.
Because I just don't want to go, I don't want to play, so many people play Mr. Physician, and that's just the wrong way to be. You can't self-diagnose. You can diagnose it, but you damn well better get it checked out, especially if it's something like a tear or anything like that. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say on that.
That's all I got to say about that.
And do the work. Don't knock physical therapy. I mean, it's super important to your recovery. If you're injured, make sure you get a physical therapist and you go do the work. Don't just say, "Oh, there's no pain, I'm okay," because there may be no pain, but that doesn't mean you're okay.
Though, it's my biggest issue with that is that the fact of insurance. Like, insurance is so damn expensive.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean? And if you don't have coverage, man, those therapists could cost quite a bit of money. You know what I mean? Is there like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is there ways, if you don't have insurance, to go to a physical therapist where you're not paying as much? I mean, do any of them, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Do they allow you to make payment plans at physical therapists? Because I have no clue.
I don't know. My insurance covered it.
Case in point, right?
20 sessions. But I'm sure that you can find a physical therapist that they take cash, or they take some type of like reduced payment. I mean, I haven't researched it. I can. I mean, I'll look into it and see what's out there, because that might be an interesting follow-up topic to talk about. But I'm sure that there's places out there that have it. And then if not, you can find physical therapy people online that are talking about your symptoms, and you can follow the programs they have for rehabbing knee joints. Like, if you get a diagnosis from your doctor, you can go onto YouTube and you can search, what it is, and, like physical therapy for it. And then you can follow their plans, just look for somebody that looks reputable, do a little bit of research. Don't just follow some random Joe. But there's a lot of good physical therapy material out there on the internet that you can follow along.
Right.
And do. So that'd be my thought. I mean, that's my thought on it.
Okay.
I just do the work.
Just do the work. Yeah. Well, speaking of work, man, let's get the hell out of here. We'll cut out a couple minutes early. Mikey, you got anything before we get out of here, man?
Hey, I just want everybody to have a great day, and remember, go out there and chase after your dreams. There's no dream too big, but they have to become reality. They can't live in the dream world. You have to bring them to life. So just go out there, whatever your dream is, and go after it.
And this was an edition of Tony Robbins' session, and we hope you enjoyed it. And with that, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Have a good one.
Deuces.